Good evening and welcome to Hibiscus Sports Complex for another QBL Round 8 production between the Southwest Metro Pirates and the Gold Coast Rollers. My name is Regan Baker and I'm joined today in the commentary booth by Jordan Mullan. And Jordan, what an awesome game we should have here for us tonight.
Yeah, two very exciting teams to watch as we see the Southwest Metro Pirates make sure the rings are attached to the backboard. But yeah, we've got probably the oldest team in the league with the average age of 43. I was speaking to Mickey Conlon before the game, but you know what? With age comes experience, and the Gold Coast Rollers definitely have that. They've got NBL experience and college experience and overseas experience all over the floor, and they go, they pretty much go 12 deep. But obviously only 10 can play. But yeah, for them, they're a red hot side, and they are a force to be reckoned with this year. But you know, as we've seen, Southwest on home floor, they're no easy beats, and they're going to make sure that home floor is protected, and they bring some wealth of knowledge and experience and a lot younger legs, so they're going to get up and down and play with some freedom.
Yeah, and looking at the way Southwest played last week as well in the production that we brought with Nothing But Net Media, they can be one of the highest scoring teams in the league as well, dropping 114 points in that game last week. They came out with some absolute intensity, and you know, and Henry Prono, one of probably the more exciting imports, not just for Southwest but for the entire QBL this season as well. He picked himself up a player of the round last week because of his efforts in that game, and he threw down some hectic dunks as well. And if you ever get a chance to jump onto Basketball Queensland's Facebook page, check out those dunks because they were some big ones. So there's some exciting talent out on the floor.
Yeah, did they retighten those rings during the week, I think?
Oh, look, one would definitely hope so because they are definitely loose after that. And, I mean, they're probably just as loose now anyway after Southwest warm-up. So could be quite interesting. But as you said, and this Gold Coast team, again, they may be old or older, but they are a damn exciting team as well. So, you know, I've been involved in the QBL for what is 11 years now. I did my first QBL game as a referee when I was 16. And some of the names out on the floor here for this Gold Coast side, they were still playing when I refereed my first game 11 years ago. So there's a wealth of talent on this Gold Coast side. They've brought up some of the young players as well through the ranks, and it really is going to be a game to look forward to here tonight because it could go either way.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, they've added Petrie. I think Petrie, you know, brings, you know, his international experience and his multiple years in the NBL and playing at a high level to the league. And I think, you know, for me, you've gone and added an import or two, and that's going to be exciting too. But, you know, they've got a core group that's stuck together for a number of years now, and they've sort of built that, changed a couple of pieces here and there. But for the most part, Mickey C has got a good group together, and they're hitting their straps at the right time of the year, and they're continuing to put numbers up, but they know how to lock down teams very quickly, and they work out on the floor how to shut players down. So this young Southwest team are really going to have to pay attention, have to understand that you might get away with something one play, you might not get it the next, you will get a completely different look the next play. So I think it's going to be a very interesting contrast of styles of play in terms of experience versus youth. But let's see how the two sides match up quite shortly. Yeah, definitely so. And I think for Southwest, obviously, they would have done their scout coming into the game. And one of their big jobs is going to be shutting down Spencer Parker coming into tonight's game, averaging 24.4 points, which is just absolutely massive. So they're going to have a job on their hand to try and shut him down, prevent him from racking up those points early on, because that's going to obviously help them. But Southwest is also down a Nelson Larkins, averaging 19.6 points a game. Unfortunately, got a little bit of a niggle in his knee at the moment. He managed to play through it last week, but he's been struggling through training. I had a chat to Coach Wayne Larkins before the game, and yeah, just a little bit of a niggle, nothing too serious at this stage, but the decision has been made to rest Nelson coming into tonight's game because they do have a doubleheader next week as well. They've got a game on the road and a game at home, so they'd much rather just rest Nelson for now and bring him into that doubleheader round next week. So a bit of a disappointment for Southwest, but there is still a wealth of talent out on the floor here, and it gives the young Bairstow an opportunity to start here for Southwest as well, as Southwest kicks off winning the tip. As we see already, there's length all over the floor. Ryan Vines is going to have length thrown at him early, and Sean Bairstow wants to go to work against the very experienced, savvy Reese Martin in the post. That's going to be a hard matchup.
And straight away, Buono going to work on the, Jarrett Croft that one was, going to work on the inside. Picking up a nice early foul as well. He's got a little bit of a laugh and a smile on his face, so he reckons he might have got away with this cheeky one. But he will go to the line for 2 shots early on. You know it's going to be a good game when you've got a veteran crew of referees on the panel as well. You've got Mark Mill bringing in NBL talent, Anthony Redmond, and the young local Pat Jamroz, who I've told before the game that I'm going to make sure every bad decision is his. So look forward to that, Jamroz, when you watch this back.
Oh, I've been told by Luke Patrick that's part of the reason why Reliable Insurance Solutions is partner of the QBL referees. As we see a nice strong move to the rack, they'll draw the foul and count the basket. The foul will be on Henry. That will be his first personal. But yeah, I think as I was talking to Mickey C, you can't have a Rollers team like this and then have them playing at the Southwest Metro Pirates home and not have an experienced crew on check, because if it's not coming from Mickey C or Wayne Larkins from the sideline, it's coming from the floor. So Mark's going to have his hands cut, tied up, and his hands tied together for the rest of the night with this. Oh, wow. Croft showing that he's got range. Petrie chesting him out and saying, well, I'll let you live with that, but I don't know if he's going to give him a second look at that. Yeah,
I think that's probably going to be the easiest shot Croft has the whole game, because he won't be given that much freedom moving forward, that's for sure.
Definitely not. Vines works the on-ball, can't get the roll. Petrie can't secure it, and we'll have Pirates ball. Vinesy not happy with himself on that one. He couldn't believe how open he was, but I'm sure he's going to see a lot of contact early.
And that also just goes to show, great steal there early on as well. Poor passing decision from Southwest, but going coast to coast with a nice little dish off Reese Martin to Thalo Green for the points inside. But it looks like Green's just gone down badly on his ankle as he landed after the shot. He's going to walk it off. Yeah, it might be his hip, not his ankle.
Yeah, I think his ankle gave way, but I think the hip has, Thalo, people forget, Thalo's been playing this league for God knows how long. But he's a veteran's veteran, and he's a warrior, and he loves the battle. He lives for the QBL season, and he'll play through whatever and some.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Thalo has just been a staple of the QBL for, like I said, one of the players I was talking about for as long as I can remember. And as we see, an unfortunate miss there inside from Puono, but offensive rebound for Jared Bairstow. But Thalo Green, fun fact, one of my first ever technical fouls was on Thalo Green. Back in the early days of, what would it have been, 2008, around about that time.
And I'm sure you don't forget it for an obvious reason that Thalo would have let you know about it.
Absolutely.
As we see the Pirates getting 2 offensive rebounds in a row, that's going to be a little bit of a focus now for the Pirates. And I'm sure Mickey C with the Rollers, Pono hits a 2. They've called that a 2. Petrie calling for the ball in the post. He wants to go to work, and just too smart. Waiting for Pono to think it's going to be an athletic war, and Peach just showing him, hey, listen, hey, I'll still outsmart you. You can be a better athlete, but I'm going to outsmart you, and he knows how to work that post.
Speaking of post, Jared Bairstow gets it inside as well, and he's going to go one-on-one, driving with the left hand and flicking it up over the top of Spencer Parker for the nice inside 2. Inside, outside, Reese Martin stepping up to the three-point line and making it look like a training drill.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's playing the NBL for so long. That three-point line he's quite accustomed to. Vines finding out that first layup attempt that he had was going to be the easiest one, because that one was definitely not. Pono, another rebound. He is a big man.
A very big man. Shawnee Bairstow now going to the left-hand side. Steps up for the right-hand jumper, though. Can't quite get it to fall. Brother Jared Bairstow just having the ball tipped out of his hands. So Southwest will maintain with 14 seconds on the shot. Ball inside to Croft. Croft way short on that one.
Yeah, I think if I'm the Rollers, I'm happy to live with Croft shooting turnaround fadeaway jumpers all night long.
Just fixing up the shot clock, so they're going to have 21 seconds on the shot clock. Gold Coast with Reese Martin bringing the ball in. Goes straight to the hands of LJ Rose, and he backs up on Vines, drives around, kicks out. Parker for 3, and that is easy. Parker showing why he's one of the top point scorers in the QBL this season. Buono now driving through traffic, loses control, and that goes out of bounds. There was some big contact inside as well, but Gold Coast going to come up with the advantage.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a physical game. I think LJ Rose is going to recognise early. If it's not him, it's going to be Reese Martin. They're going to go at Vines and post. And Vines has been around for a while now, so he knows how to play it. But when you're playing against a player like Rose or as savvy as veteran as Reese Martin, it's going to come down to smarts. And unfortunately, he's going to meet 2 bigger point guards who also are very smart and can play at a high level. As we see, Thaler Green can't get the roll but draw the foul on Croft. Thalo and finding a knack to get the contact. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Thaler's been a master of that for many years as well. Whenever he gets the ball, he always has a sneaky little look around, find out where the contact's coming from, make sure he draws it. Probably be disappointed himself that he didn't quite make the shot from the inside as well. And misses the first. And the second as well. It's an unusual miss from Thalo Green, missing 2 from 2 free throws. Great handoff there from Jared Besto. Max Curl not able to make it on the reverse.
Yeah, I think the Pirates bench looking for a foul call, but I think Mark Mills just staring them down, saying, "Hey, come on, guys, we're dealing with some guys who played NBL here, so this is going to be very interesting." Jared Besto 3. Off the front of the iron. Croft tried to get the putback, but can't get it to go. And here come the Rollers.
A step up to the 3-point line. 3, LJ Rose. No good on that one, though. Croft with a defensive board for Southwest. Vinesy now pulling up on the 3-point line. They go inside. Puono spins around on Petrie. Can't find the bottom of the net, though. They'll retain after a Gold Coast tip out of bounds.
As we see Christian Payne checking in for the Pirates. Croft will have a rest. Thaler has a rest for the Rollers. Whilst Jaden Tom checks back in. One big body comes out, another bigger body comes in for the Rollers. I think the thing for the Pirates, they've got to play through Puono. I think this Rollers team is too smart, too savvy to allow him just to go to work and get mine. He's got to become a facilitator and a point of focus as we see him force a shot and draw enough contact out of position. Spencer Parker draws the contact. Probably got away with one there. I think the loose ball offense really didn't have control of it, and he got rewarded. But I think Puono, comparatively, and I saw a bit of his highlights from last week and a couple of weeks before, but I think he has to facilitate and draw the double team, recognise that he is drawing the attention, and then start to find his teammates around him. He's got some shooters, he's got some guys that space the floor, but you've got to play through Puono tonight. I think with Nelson out, they've got to find him early in that mid-post region or on that wing, and then understand he's going to make things happen for him.
Yeah, definitely so, as he misses his free throw, but goes back to work underneath as well and manages to find the net on that one, drawing the gap down to only 2. But I think you're exactly right, Jordan. Like, realistically, Puono needs to be a playmaker in this game here. With Nelson Larkins out, bringing the ball down the court with as much energy and pace as what he does. They need to try and draw it through Puono, or even to a degree, Jarrett Croft as well, to try and draw the defense onto them, because they can absolutely go to work underneath, draw the play in, and either draw the foul as we saw from the previous play, or then kick it out to the likes of a Jared Bairstow or a Ryan Vines to hit the 3.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting now for the Pirates. As we see Parker step through one dribble pull up. Jaden Tom manhandling Christian Pang on trying to get an offensive rebound, and referee Jamaros is all over it. Yeah, this is going to be interesting now. They've got Croft off the floor for the Pirates. He's having a bit of a breather. Coach Larkin's going to have to make some decisions here, because he's brought in the younger Bairstow now, and they've got no Puono on the floor, and he's on early, too easy. I think 2 fouls. So that's going to be interesting for the Pirates to see what he does. But now these younger players are going to have to step up as we see Curl take the easy jumper as he's given too much space. But I think these players are going to rise to the occasion. They're given the opportunity. Coach Larkins trusts in his team and believes they can come in and do the job. It's just about continuing to build that confidence and belief as we see Tom hit his trademark baseline jumper. And it's only a 2-point ball game. That's the other thing. And both teams are playing with foul trouble as we see Vines go to the rack with ease.
And that's just a staple Ryan Vines move as well. Like he's not a big guard, but he's got the foot speed and the foot maneuverability as well to weave his way through bigger players underneath. And he's just got the skill to execute those flip shots and make them find the roll in as well. But as you said, some of these younger players from Southwest are going to need to step up. And the likes of Max Curl had a really great performance last week. In that 114-point win that they had, he really came to the party and he did a lot of really amazing things across the floor, and especially from three-point land as well. So, it's a time for those guys and the Christian Pangs as well to step up and play some good quality ball.
Yeah, as we see the Rollers injected Jared Eustace in the game, which for the Anthony Petrie, and Coach Larkins quickly recognising that Croft needs to be on the floor. Bairstow gets a breather. Salicic comes in for the Rollers as LJ Rose has a seat. So this will be interesting now because Jared Eustace gives a different dynamic to the Rollers. He's played in this league for a number of years and played overseas as well. But he can get hot early, and he's very young and very athletic and plays the 1 through 4. We see Reese Martin can't hit 3 in transition. 15 all. 3 minutes 14 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, relatively slow scoring at the moment, only 15 apiece. But defensively, both teams doing a really good job at the moment. Foul count not too high, and both teams doing a good job defensively as we see Ryan Vines take a turnaround jump shot fadeaway. No good on that occasion. But I think defensively, both teams have really come to the party as we see Christian Pang just not quite getting in front on that one there, but right idea. So your wedgie on the free throw as well.
What is the rule on the wedgie now? Is there still drinks owed on that one, or what's the deal on the pizza?
I only remember the referee rules. I don't remember the player rules. The old school referee rules was if a game went into overtime, you owed everyone pizza.
Okay.
Those were good times.
Well, it can't be pizza because McDonald's is sponsor of Southwest, so I think it's got to be free
It definitely needs to be, Mount Gravatt McDonald's after the game. I think that sounds fair. Big Macs for everyone.
Big Macs for everyone, I think so. Great sponsor of the Southwest Metro Pirates. 5 local stores too. Jeez.
And there's, 3 or 4 MMG auto cars out the front as well. We can drive those to Macca's.
Oh, mate, we've got this all organised. Rob Tanky and Steve Evans and the team here are doing a great job.
He's got a whole dinner plan sorted, really.
And he's got your whole weekend planned.
So both free throws there missed for the Rollers. Not a great start from free throw land. That's 4 misses in this first quarter so far. 2.5 to go. Christian Pang has it. Shot clock rolls into single digits. Finds the opening, takes the 3-point bomb and says, thank you.
Yeah, Pang has added that to his game, and credit to him. He's been involved in some of the Bullets development program stuff. He's done a lot of work on his body. He's recognised and seen an opportunity with the Pirates, and he's been rewarded for his loyalty. He's played the role, and now all of a sudden he's getting reward for all the hard work. As we see him step up, Vines, penetration, Bairstow with a Euro. Off the window is good. Sean Bairstow showing how dangerous he's going to be at a college sometime soon. It's not too far away.
And Shawnee Bairstow is another player that's really developed his game in the space of the last 12, 15 months as well. He's put in a lot of work and a lot of effort, and his game now compared to what it was 12, 15 months ago has come miles. And it's exactly why he's been signed up to college, and I think he's going to have a great season over there. He's long, he's tall, he's athletic. So I think he's going to have a great season, and again, he's going to come back and do amazing things in the Australian League, or obviously stay over and follow in his brother's footsteps, find some NBA.
I think if you ask Sean, he'll be saying I'll be setting the path of light. If you ask Sean, I've known the Bairstow family for a number of years now, and haven't had the privilege of coaching Sean in a team environment, but yeah, you're right. He has done a whole lot of work. I think the most impressive piece of work he's done is on his body. I think he's started to fill out a little bit. You see a lot more work in the upper body now, and that's paying off. And he is a danger. And as we see him come off the on ball, and that length, can't get the roll, but he's not going to miss too many of those.
No, and that was just a great move as well. And speaking of great moves, down the other end of the floor, LJ Rose just going to work inside, putting away a nice easy 2 as well. That gap now closed down to 1. LJ Rose picking up a little foul.
Soft foul, but it's sort of been setting the tone here with contact that's led to a disadvantage has been blown, and it's been consistent, which is good. So 19-20, 1 minute 30. Ponwa back in the game with 2. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, look, I think Prono was a smart enough player that he'll be able to play with 2 fouls and not get another. As we see him go to work inside as well with a huge slap by Jared Eustace. I think most of the listeners could have probably heard that at home with how loud that echoed through the stadium.
Yeah, I think a blind referee could have called that one.
Referees just coming together and having a little bit of discussion. I think it's probably going to be a conversation if it wasn't contact heavy enough to warrant the unsportsmanlike, but they are just going to call it regular hands foul. I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I think that's just I think that now with the new regulations and then the criteria around the unsportsmanlike, I think that's just understanding that, hey, there's a hard foul. There's still a hard foul category, and you need to recognise that. And Jared Eustace is going to, hey, I'm going to make this hard.
Yeah.
So you're distracted by that pain, and not distracted enough that he misses a free throw, which is credit to Henry. It's now a matter of seeing what they can do in the last 1 minute 16 to extend this lead beyond 2, because it's been very much a bucket-for-bucket kind of affair so far.
Yeah, I think the biggest lead has been by 5 points, but that was shut down relatively quickly, and we'll see it happen again. We're up to 3-point lead for Southwest, but I can't imagine Gold Coast is going to live with that. They're going to do everything possible to get some points on the board here now as well, leading into the quarter-time break. Ball rests in the hands of LJ Rose. Shot clock just ticking down. Rose kicks out onto the 3-point line. That 3-point shot is wet, and that's Jays Morris going to work.
Yeah, he's here to shoot threes, and he knows how to stroke it. So, yeah, he's going to get open. I think with the size of both teams on the floor has become quite shortened too. So, it's going to be even more important that penetration out of the on-ball and those isolation mismatches is going to be a point of emphasis for both coaches, because if you're not on the money with those passes, because of the length of both teams and the size of both teams, the floor is so small. So it's going to be pertinent for both teams to make sure that penetration is accurate, is also drawing a second defender, and then finding the wide open shooter with a good pass. Yeah,
definitely. And this is probably one of the longest games in terms of players we've got on the floor, because both teams, they're tall and they've got massive wingspan. So you're exactly right. The floor is a lot smaller. The gaps are a lot harder to thread needles. As we see Petrie going to work on the spin move, but couldn't quite find the fall. So, yeah, I think it will be a very different game of basketball in terms of the way these teams go to work and what shots they actually choose to take and how they pass the ball. So Prono going to work right into the buzzer as well, putting it away to take the lead by 2 going into the first quarter break.
Yeah, he did well there. He took the contact. He was waiting for the call. He didn't get bailed out, and I'm sure they're going to get him on the next one, but he's a man mountain, and he's going to take some force to be reckoned with this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Good finish there for the Pirates, taking it into the quarter break with 2 points in the lead over the Gold Coast Rollers. But we are going to take a quick break here, so stay right with us, and we're back with you shortly with quarter 2 action of your QBL Game of the Week, presented by the Stream Team Australia. And back with you here at Hibiscus Sports Complex on the Harry Haxton Court. It is the Southwest Metro Pirates taking on the Gold Coast Rollers. It's a 2-point lead for your Pirates as Gold Coast kicks things off into the second quarter, just moving the ball around the outside of the 3-point line. Reese Martin with it now. Screen set by Petrie as Martin finds the gap and goes to the left and finds the positive roll on the right side.
Mickey C, straight out of a timeout or a quarter break, is one of the best coaches in the league at about making sure his troops get executed on the offensive end, and you saw that there, obviously, with the experience of Mullan. Kono dishes to Vines for an open three, but can't get the roll.
Great save from Eustace from the out of bounds as well, just flicking it back in court to Petrie.
Martin working the on-ball again. That can be a problem for the Pirates if that gets happening. Him coming off the on-ball finding shooters is going to be a real danger.
Buono, an unfortunate miss, and Jared Bairstow fighting underneath for the rebound, but just outdone. Gold Coast coming down with it. Thaler Green, corner three. That's a little bit off. Jared Croft making it nice and easy on the board situation. Vines with it now.
Bairstow going to work in Salicic. Giving go back to Vines, easy two.
Yeah, Vines really having a great game already out here. He's on 4 points now, but also one of the leading rebounders in the game as well for Southwest, at least on 4. Shortest player on the floor. Also one of the highest rebounders.
Yeah, Reese Martin's going to keep him honest on both ends. I wouldn't be surprised if Reese Martin's doing the same thing just at the moment, but yeah, he's going to keep him honest at both ends, and that's what a good point guard does. It's not about just getting buckets. It's not about just finding the right guy at the right time. It's about understanding how you can impact the game on multiple levels. So, you know, Martin's an expert at it, and Vines, having had his stint in the NBL and NBL programs, knows how to do it too. So, hey, you got two great teams on the floor tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just seen, speaking of two great teams, we've just seen the decision out on the floor by the referees that the contact on that occasion was a little bit too strong, and same as what we had down the other end of the floor, referees came together to discuss the level of contact. On this occasion, it was that little bit too strong, and they have called the unsportsmanlike foul on Jared Croft. So Petrie, after his little bit of time on the floor, just nursing that injury from hitting the ground hard, steps up for the 2 free throws. Captain Vines and Jared Croft having a nice little calm conversation with Mark Mill, finding out what's going on. Petrie goes 2 from 2 from the free throw line. And the Rollers are going to take it back from the 3-point line.
I think that's been a little bit of an education process for a lot of the players in the league with the new introduction, the criteria around the unsportsmanlike, and you know there's still obviously a room for interpretation in that, but I think for the most part the referee's done a good job. I think if anything the players have been delayed as we see a Rollers
shot clock violation.
Yeah, not what you want after a set play or a set inbound and you've got an opportunity to execute.
Yeah, we've got the opportunity for a 4-point swing really with the 2 free throws and then a set play to then turn it over on a 24-second. But Reese Martin with the fast fingers taking the steal from Vines and delivering the goods down the other end.
That's veteran experience, just getting it done.
Vines again on Martin. And like you said, Martin just keeping him honest, doing a great job defensively, putting the pressure on Vines. Sean Bairstow now had the mismatch. They're going to get the charge off the dunk though. Sean Bairstow taking out the defense. Thaler Green hitting the deck hard after that. They've got the charge. They're waving away the buckets. Coach Larkins just having a little bit of a slightly less friendly discussion with Anthony Redmond.
It's a conversation. It's a robust conversation, Regan, I think. Robust conversation.
It's a good way to put it.
Robust conversations build friendships and trust and honesty, mate. I think it's good to have coaches and referees trust and, you know, friendly with each other.
Well, the Larkins-Redmond relationship would go go well into the past as well. Both absolute veterans of the game in their respected areas. Gold Coast now with another opportunity. See, really good job inside from Spencer Parker, toughly defended. The three-point shot, no good for Petrie. Jared Bairstow now kicks out to the Vines 3 and manages to sink it over the very long hands of Spencer Parker.
Yeah, that's what the Pirates need to do. They need to play to their advantage and play at pace. If they get bogged down in the half court, again, Mickey C is one of the best in the league at putting execution onto the floor. As we see a Thalo Green left-handed hook. I mean, if you let Thalo Green go left, there's probably only one way it ends up, and that's down through the net. So.
And already you see the frustration factor coming into it from the Pirates as well. And realistically, Gold Coast just taking perfect advantage of that, recognising that Southwest are frustrated with the foul situation. But they're just going at them. They're playing their own game of ball. They're playing smart. They'll take it directly at the Southwest players, and they're getting the results. And they're up by 2. Sean Bairstow again going through the keyway, kicking out to older brother Bairstow. And strong rebound coming down from Thalo Green, and they're going to pick up the foul for Jean-Luc Morel.
Yeah, that's a lack of awareness. I think that's just a silly foul. You know, you now put yourself in foul trouble with 6:24 to play in the second quarter against as we've said, an experienced Gold Coast Rollers team.
Yeah, Morel's second foul as well, so he's checked out straight away. Miscommunication there from Southwest. Thalo Green gets it underneath, nice and open. Bairstow steps up, does a good job. Green shot missed underneath. Screen set by Croft. Vines goes around, hands off to Jared Bairstow. Jared with the right hand hook finds the friendly roll. Straight at it, Reese Martin going coast to coast, flipping one up, and that also finds a friendly roll. It's trading buckets in Hibiscus at the moment.
This is where the Pirates are going to have to execute. If they don't execute here, it's not going to happen for them. If you're going to get caught in a half-court game with the Rollers, you have to execute. Good recognition from Jared Bairstow there. Saw Spencer overplaying it and went, I'm going to burn you baseline on this. You think I'm going to go middle and use that on ball? I'm going to make you pay. And that's the thing for me that Coach Larkins is going to have to understand, is that, as we spoke about, Mickey C has got 4 or 5 guys on the floor who are really, really smart and switched on. They'll make on-the-floor play calls and they'll make reads. And this young Pirates team needs to really recognise their opportunities when they see them and read the defence and also read the offence around them. If they do that, they're gonna get theirs as well, and that's what's kept them in the game at the moment. They've sort of leveraged that. But the big thing for me is this Pirates team needs to play at pace, and if they're not playing at pace, it's going to be a long grind. Yeah,
well, at the moment they're kind of a little bit all over the shop in terms of their pacing, as you sort of mentioned. They're getting the ball down, they're setting themselves up, they're playing a slow game around the outside of the keyway. But in transition, it's a very different story as well. And defensively, they're not just getting back in time either. So they just need to try and find out what they want to do, what they're running, and just settle with it. Because at the moment, I don't think anyone out on the floor really understands what offense they're running, and they are kind of catching themselves off guard a little bit in their pacing and the way that they're moving the ball, and it hasn't been going in their favor. But, hopefully this is the start of a turning point for Southwest. They got that little niggly foul that they wanted to get called, so hopefully that brings their mindset back into the game. They settled themselves down. They got it on Spencer as well, which will be, a good thing for them to try and start racking up his foul count. So now, coming out of the timeout, Southwest needs to execute.
As we see a zone switch to the defense, straight out of the coaching 101 playbook. Mickey C knows how to coach and knows straight away to change the defense, and they do. And they got the turnover, but then they also turned it over themselves, trying to play in transition the Rollers. So the Pirates will get to see. We'll get to see this zone again and see it with a bit more time to prepare. We see Jared Bairstow drive through the gap of the zone, which is one of the things that against any zone you have to do. It's either got to be pass penetration into a post, there's got to be dribble penetration into the gaps, and I think you know, the experienced players of Bairstow and Vines and then Croft and Pono need to expose that in the zone and understand that that's where they've got to, you know, get the offense started for the Pirates, and then leverage the younger players to be able to knock down shots. We see Sean Bairstow shoot a pull-up jumper and Croft with a big rebound.
And the key for Southwest as well is they executed down their end of the floor offensively. They got that inside bucket, but then they got the stop as well. And that's key for them is, you know, they can't just put points on the board. They need to get the defensive stop. And that's not going to do it for them. They didn't get back with enough intensity and get themselves into position to stop the Reese Martin fast break. So they take the good with the bad. They do one good thing defensively. They get the stop. They work it up. They pull a couple of offensive rebounds, but then they let an easy Reese Martin fast break. Vines with it now, just working around Jared Croft. A little bit of a messy screen situation, but good no call from the referees. It was ugly, but not necessarily illegal. See Parker now spinning around, kicks out. Gold Coast is going to settle things down a little bit here. They work it back to Parker. He goes left on Vines, pushing him out of the way and goes straight to work underneath. Referees just hold up and have a short conversation with Coach Conlon. And Southwest going to go to the bench with a couple of subs. We see Shawnee Bairstow and Ryan Vines checking out. And they bring in Dakota Daniels and Henry Puono, I think, coming back in.
That's right.
So Puono with it now, going over the top of Reese Martin. Tries to pass it off to Pang. Hitting the foot of LJ Rose. LJ Rose comes up with it, but they're going to get the jump ball situation in favor of Southwest. So Southwest going to retain possession with only 7 seconds on the shot clock.
That's impressive from Thaler Green, putting his body on the line. I think he's wearing 42. He's got to be surely close to 42. He's closer to 42 than he is to 23. But Thaler putting his body in the line at any stage, with the experience that he has, showing those younger kids, hey, listen, this is how you play basketball. I'm not going to wait for a loose ball to come to me. I'm going to go and get it. So.
Yeah, definitely so. And, and it's worked out really well in their favour as well. Southwest going to retain possession just in front of the halfway line. I think the referees are discussing it now, but I think nope, they are going to reset the shot clock, so never mind. My point is null.
Gives the Rollers the opportunity though to reset, like you said, and also lock down this defense. They've had a couple of good possessions, but they've given up a couple of easy options for the Pirates offense. So we'll see what happens out of this zone here.
But again, another good opportunity for Southwest to just execute a set play, bringing in from just in front of halfway. They're down by 4. Just a little bit slow off the pace to get the ball moving. They're going to get the foot violation in the shot clock reset. Good thing for Southwest as well. They were down to 6 seconds on the shot clock and didn't really look like they were going to get a set quality shot out of the play. That's looking better for them, though, as Daniels goes to work, but left-hand jump shot just way too strong. Heading over the top of the basket. Just over 3 minutes to go as we see a Spencer Parker charge taking out Jared Bairstow, and a good call from the referees. Bairstow doing a great job to get his feet in front and get in that position.
Yeah, Jared Bairstow is one of the most impressive athletes I've seen running around the QBL for a number of years, and anyone who knows the Bairstow family, they take care of their bodies, and credit to Ian and Penny for making sure their kids were raised right and the right nutrition and the right fitness programs, because they know how to take care of themselves. And Jared obviously put in the work to make sure he gets there and continues to work on his lateral foot speed.
I've obviously known the Bairstows for pretty much most of my entire life, playing with Jared myself ever since the age of 5, going to the same primary school.
You played?
Yeah, I know, right? It's a bit scary, really. Don't play anymore, evidently, based on my body shape. But yeah, back in the days when I was actually a really good player as a junior until I decided, until I picked up a whistle at the age of 12 and started realizing I can get paid to go to basketball. And then it all went downhill from there. But yeah, known the Bairstow family my entire life. And for me, this is probably one of Jared's most impressive seasons versus the player we saw him last year, where he still had a good season, but he was putting on nowhere near as many points, nowhere near as many boards as what he is this season. He's done a lot of work in the off-season. He's put on a lot of muscle and a lot of really good quality muscle in his upper body as well, giving him that extra strength and to fight over the top of Thalo Green to pull rebounds like that. And, there's a reason why he's averaging such a great season. He's averaging averaging 18.6 points per game and just under 10 rebounds on 9.6, but 5 assists. So a really, really great athlete, and he's come such a long way in the last sort of 12, 24 months. LJ Rose, again, the training drill from the three-point line, finding the bottom of the net on that one. Coach Larkin's not too happy with what he's seeing late in this second quarter, so they're going to go to the bench and have a timeout. We're going to take a quick break as well, but stay right with us. We'll bring you more shortly on your QBL Stream of the Week, presented by Panagos Productions and the Stream Team Australia. And back with you here on the Harry Haxton court. It's 40 leading 33. The Southwest Metro Pirates just down going into over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Gold Coast Rollers really starting to make a lot of good offensive decisions late in this second quarter as well to extend this lead out. And defensively as well, Southwest is unable to break through what Gold Coast is doing. So in terms of what Coach Larkins would have been calling that timeout for, Jordan, what do you reckon he's saying with his team? Are they working on offense or are they working on defense?
I think the first thing probably is how they're attacking the roller zone. I think that's probably the first part. Obviously, there's a shot go up as a
drive straight to the bucket, so not great defense from Southwest on that one. Offensively, though, they're looking a lot cleaner as Max Curl steps up to the three-point shot. That one a little bit too strong as well. Bullet pass, heads up, can't quite make it in time for the layup on the inside, but Jared Eustace going to go to work on the inside, flipping one up for the two, and they take the lead out to 9.
Yeah, he does that with ease. He's long, he's athletic, he's unorthodox. He can play quick, he can play slow. And Croft with a big three. They needed that going into the half. They need to stop now with a 2-for-1 opportunity here, but we'll see if the Rollers execute on it or try to use it. Eustace, pullback jumper.
And Eustace just does such a good job as well of taking the contact and still executing as well. Not on that play, but the one before he went inside. There was a fair amount of body contact on that passage of play. And I'm not saying it was illegal or should have been a foul, but the contact was there. But the good thing about Eustace is he just plays through it as though it's normal. He doesn't, whinge or complain or say that I was fouled. He just went to work, did what he needed to do, and finished the shot, and nothing was said. So 6 seconds to go. Gold Coast bringing it in from the back court. Please ignore my clock. It's not quite accurate. Down to 2 seconds now as Eustace steps into the three, but that's too short. And we end the quarter at 36-44. The Gold Coast Rollers going into the halftime break with an 8-point lead. The Southwest must be pretty disappointed, I think, with their defense more than anything going into the halftime break.
Yeah, I think so. I think probably the other thing that probably be more disappointing is potentially the fact that they didn't get execution down the stretch late in that second quarter. I think from a defensive perspective, though, the thing that I would be harping on with my troops is, well, 44 isn't too bad, but the other thing is you went to the foul count or the bonus early at about 6:24 left in the quarter, and you managed to keep it at 4 fouls for the last 6:24. So you didn't give up a foul, which shows a level of discipline from the defense of the Pirates. I think offensively, though, down the stretch, the lack of execution and your ability to get to the foul line, as well as then, that penetration against the zone was sort of lacking, and that's probably what I would be focusing on if I'm Coach Larkins. But defensively, there's some good signs. 44 is not too bad at this league, in this level. But again, 8 points is still 8 points, and the Rollers had all momentum going into the half.
Yeah, definitely so. And, Gold Coast doing a good job to get themselves into the lead. Both teams, a couple of things to work on at the halftime break, but it is going to be an absolutely stellar second half of action. It really is still anyone's game. But there is just over 13 minutes to go in the halftime break, so we're going to take a quick rest. But stick right with us, and we'll bring you more live QBL action from the Hibiscus Sports Complex shortly, presented to you by the Stream Team Australia. And welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex. It is 44 plays 36. The Southwest Metro Pirates just trailing at the halftime break. But Jordan, both teams doing a lot of things really well. A couple of things need to tweak here and there, but for Southwest in particular, I think they really have to start closing down their defense and just looking at ways to prevent Gold Coast picking up as many points as they did in the first.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the thing that they've got to understand is that they are still young, so a veteran team like the Rollers, and a shout out to your friend Matt Wellsby, who said the collective age of the Rollers team is 900 years old. I think you're a little bit off the mark. I think it's probably 850, but watching from Dallas, didn't you say? But yeah, I think for the Rollers, because of their experience, they're gonna identify those nuances or those little errors or mistakes in reads, and they're gonna punish you for it. And it just continues to expand and expose you as a defensive team as you continue to go forward. So I think for the Pirates, they just need to tighten up but maintain that focus. It's all the fundamentals of stay in front of your player, be able to guard both ways, make sure you find a body on a rebound, and everyone rebound together. It's, I think, the collective group, which the Rollers do organically and naturally. I think for them offensively, though, the exciting part is if they tighten that defense up, it's going to allow them to play in transition a little bit more. It's going to allow them to play off misses and makes, irrespectively, and use their length, use their athleticism, but most importantly, use their youth. This Rollers team does not want to go down, up and down, up and down, up and down for the next 20 minutes. So I think for the Pirates, if they can play at speed and in transition at tempo, I think they're going to be fine. The concern will be is that how soon does Mickey C re-engage that zone and how quickly can the Pirates adjust. But yeah, I think 36.5 is a concern. I think by playing at pace, you're going to quickly accelerate that and grow and expand that. But 44 is not a bad defensive effort, but it can be tightened up for sure.
Yeah, and as you sort of said as well, and again, a big shout out to Matt Wellsby tuning in from Dallas, Fort Worth. After having moved over there at the start of the year, ex-Pirates coach and pretty much everything man around these parts. It's not hitting a bucket. You're looking at the stat sheet in front of me. Like Southwest is only shooting 34% from the field with a 14 from 41 hit rate. So it's just, I don't think it's necessarily they're not taking the right shots. I think they've had a lot of really good set plays and they've taken a really good range of shots from all over the court. They're just not managing to find their form at the moment. They're not hitting them. And defensively as well, they're just a big foul to kick off things as well. And they're going to go with the offensive foul straight away. Sorry, just to cut myself off. That was a big play within 3 seconds of starting. Anthony Petrie going to get the unsportsmanlike foul. Just connecting with Henry Puono in the head. Interesting start to the quarter. The referee's just going to go and have a little bit of a conversation among themselves as well and work out, I think, what's happened as to whether it maybe be a double foul. There was a little bit of contact from Puono too, but yeah, Petrie just making contact on the head of Puono. So unsportsmanlike foul called there against Anthony Petrie, just reconfirming from the referees. If you're Coach Mick Conlon, you're definitely not happy with that start to the quarter.
Yeah, that's not out of the playbook, I don't think.
No.
Puono was not having a bar of it either. He was like, I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, if that's how you want to start the half, we'll take it. But they get 2 cheap ones and possession off the back of that, so that's really potentially a 6 to 7 point turnaround and a swing. But yeah, Peach puts that one up, and Mark Mills as a referee is obviously very, very qualified and knows is all across it. So he was right on top of that one. As we see Bairstow lose his footing on that one, but managed to keep the dribble alive. And as we expected, the Rollers have gone into their zone, and they're forced a turnover early out of the Pirates. The Pirates just didn't click onto the fact that they needed to move the ball quickly and play quickly, and as a result, they turn it over. So, and that's off
both unsportsmanlike fouls as well, where they've made both free throws off the unsportsmanlike, and then on the inbounds passage of play, it's been a shot clock violation turnover.
Lack of awareness with youth is a big thing that coaches harp on all the time. At a state level, at a national level, when you come to the QBL, you've got to understand execution and awareness with youth has got to be a focal point. Easy 2 for the Rollers to open their scoring off the back of that unsportsmanlike.
Jarrett Croft, nice hesitation there as well. Managing to kick it out to Bairstow on the right-hand side. They go to the top of the key with Sean Bairstow. His three-point shot, a little bit too short. The Rollers now again just pushing fast down the court. And another unfortunate turnover for the Rollers as well, with Spencer Parker just stepping out of bounds on that move to the bucket.
Yeah, I think that's where the Rollers are a little bit more experienced, and they know where they can pick and choose their shots, sort of thing, versus the Pirates trying to force things or make things happen. Sean Bairstow's 3 was a good look, but I think he probably had better re-penetration on that one, and a bit more patience. But again, they're going to get there. They're going to get in the rhythm. Good ball movement against the zone.
And Southwest looking really good there. Great movement around the floor, and Shawnee Bairstow getting himself inside, taking the big contact from Thalo Green, but couldn't put away the fadeaway.
Yeah, I think that the connection on the pass from Vines just wasn't on target. It was the right look. It just wasn't executed as well as it could have been. And Vines, he goes and gets him and says, hey, my bad on that one. But, you know, Shawnee Bairstow is going to learn from that, and Vines is not going to make that same mistake twice. So we'll see if that ball movement continues against the zone.
But it was a much better ball movement from the Pirates as well. You know, it went through probably 9 or 10 sets of hands before it made that in pass to Sean Bairstow underneath. But that's a much better look from the Pirates, and it really did break away the Gold Coast Rollers defense and gave Sean that opportunity underneath. So positive signs for the Pirates as the Rollers make another 2 to extend the lead to the double digits for the first time in this game. But definitely positive signs from the Pirates.
Yeah, as we spoke about early, dribble penetration against the zone is highly effective, and Sean Bairstow makes him pay with it. What is an easy two-handed jam baseline for the young fella.
Yeah, and that's just easy for Sean Bairstow as well. He's got the length, he's got the hops, and you know, for such a young kid, we've seen many big dunks like that out of his career so far already. Great cut into the keyway there from Spencer Parker as well. Getting a little bit agitated and I think looking for the foul, but not really too much wrong defensively on that occasion. Both players in good position in front, took the contact, but good execution from Parker. Yeah,
we're seeing that now. It's taking late shot clock options now, so it becomes a little bit more of a high-pressure situation when you're getting into late shot clock. So we'll see what happens now as both teams are starting to work each other out and find their rhythm.
Yeah. Gold Coast now with another opportunity to string together a couple of passages of play. Bit of miscommunication between Puono and Croft inside, causing the turnover that we see now as Petrie works inside. They're going to force Spencer Parker to take a very late shot clock shot. It's no good, and a shot clock violation there for the Rollers.
Yeah, I think they didn't recognise that the ball hadn't hit the ring, and Petrie wants back at Puono, and that's going to be, that's going to be a matchup. So Croft with a long 3, that is
way right.
That's not his bread and butter.
No, it didn't look good from the minute he left his hands either. We're perfectly in line with Croft in the basket, and that was right, straight out of the hands.
Thalo Green with the easy reverse, using his body and the rim as a protector to get in and underneath, and a little bit of English. Jared Bairstow now goes baseline, finds his brother Sean. Unfortunately, Sean steps out of bounds. But again, early penetration against the zone, highly effective. Put the ball on the deck, challenge the defender to come and guard you, engage a second defender, and start to find open receivers who are on the move. And I think this Pirates offense is starting to look a little bit more sharper, even though they're down 12. It's just tighten up that defense and build 1 or 2 stops against the Rollers, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Southwest offense is definitely looking a lot cleaner. Unfortunately, they're still not managing to actually be rewarded with the points. Again, perfect opportunity from Vines there, split the defense and took the shot, just couldn't get the roll. Shawnee Bairstow with a nice putback opportunity, though, to get the points. But you're right, Southwest offense is looking much cleaner. It's looking much sharper. A big offensive foul there from Parker. I don't know how we can possibly argue that. That was a very big armbar push-off, and just managed to save himself from the technical foul, because I think that's his 4th. If he had have received the technical, it would have been his 5th. So good hesitation and resistance to not open his mouth. But again, Southwest offense looking cleaner, looking a lot sharper. They're making the right moves, and they're taking the good shots as well. They're just not being rewarded with the fall. But hopefully now they've got the 2 points, they've got the turnover, they've got Parker out of the game on 4 fouls, so he's going to sit down probably till the end of the quarter. So, and again, just miscommunication between Puono and Croft, and their offense looks good, but they do that 2 times in a row when, that's kind of breaks it back a little bit.
It's the connection at the moment. I think it's that sharp, like we talked about with the Vines pass to Bairstow before. It's the Vines. They're just got to understand that they're putting themselves in the right position, which is the most impressive part. It's just then scoring it. So the Vines pass before to Bairstow, and then the Vines miss layup, but Bairstow follows up. It's the second and third effort, and that's going to come. That's just going to happen, and it's going to happen organically. The more effort you put in, the work's going to be rewarded, and they're starting to see that. I think Taylor Green, as the captain of the Rollers, is having a good question on that offensive. But we're going to see. I think Petrie and Puono want to go at each other, and I'm excited to see what happens here as Puono picks up the defensive rebound. Coach Larkin's imploring his troops to continue to push and search and probe on the offensive transition. Vines try to find Croft though in trailing transition. I think he puts his hand up and goes, "Hey, my bad, I'm feeling it," and heat check says, "Yeah, mate, sorry. You go and bang bodies downstairs, but yeah, up top is not for you."
Yeah, I don't think Croft 3-point shot is what Southwest needs right now. I mean, he hit 2 in a row early in the first half. He was 100%. He's just missed his last 2 though. But I don't think a big man 3-point shot is what we're looking for right now. Southwest points are coming from the inside. But again, as we see Max Curl this time step up to the 3-point line, that one's looking a bit more efficient.
Yeah, better ball movement. Ball goes down one side, touches the high post, gets a paint touch. Again, defense is rotating now. And you've got a specialist shooter in Curl. As we see Petrie. He's taking the unsportsmanlike personally. He's going straight at Puono and saying, "Come and get it, big fella."
Big contact there underneath on Croft as he tried to spin to go to the bucket. They're going to get that foul against Jaden Tom. Good call by Mark Mill. Nice and easy decision. But again, I think from Southwest's end, they do the right thing offensively. You get Max Curl with that nice 3-point shot, but then down the other end, defensively, they were just a little bit too spread, which led to that Anthony Petrie drive down the key. Obviously big defense against Henry Puono, but it was just a little bit too easy for Petrie to get to that point in time. Good offensive rebound there by Max Curl. Just managed to save it from going out of bounds. Steal almost good there. That one's Christian Salicic. Right, just knocking it out of court. So it's 9 points the difference. Southwest still trailing at the moment. We'll have 10 seconds on the shot clock. Max Curl bringing it in for the Pirates.
Watch Puono here. Puono's going to want this. It's going to be ISO with an on-ball. No, they go to Vines off the flare screen. And good read out of the out of bounds. Puono recognising he's getting all the attention. And obliges and says, "Come and get me, Gold Coast Rollers defense. I'm going to play facilitator," which is great to see. An import who recognises it's not all about me, but can understand that I'll get my teammates involved. They're going to reward me later in the game. And they've brought it back to 7 now, and they're starting to move the ball more freely. The players are moving as good receivers as Vines finds Croft underneath the rim on a good roll off the on-ball.
And that was good recognition from Vines as well. Gold Coast just lost Croft underneath. He just stood there and jumped up and down asking for it.
Yeah, good patience from Ryan Vines off the on-ball.
Yeah, this is dangerous now for Gold Coast. Southwest really starting to find some form. Rollers having missed 3 of their last shot attempts. Southwest making all 3 of theirs. We're down to a 5-point ball game. Vines this time going to go at it. Stolen by Reese Martin, but just tipped out of bounds, unfortunately. So it's been a 7-point swing in favor of the Pirates. There is going to be a timeout on the floor. I believe that one is in favor of Mick Conlon. So we're going to take a quick break as well as we go into the break. 5 points down for the Pirates on your QBL Game of the Week, presented by the Stream Team Australia. And welcome back to the Harry Haxton Court in Hibiscus Sports Complex. It's a 5-point ball game. Southwest Metro are going to be bringing in from the baseline 16 seconds on the shot clock. If they can close this one out, it'll be, spoke too soon, Jared Eustace straight away from the inbounds pass from Jared Bairstow, just getting the catch and then going to turn it around with a foul as well. That going against Christian Pang, so not what you want to see if you're Coach Larkins coming in out of the break. You turn it over straight away and then foul.
No, and Mickey C gifted them a timeout on that one, and they didn't execute on the baseline out of bounds. So that's just poor execution, unfortunately. And Jared Bairstow knew it, but hey, you know those things happen, and you got to live with them. As we see Jared Eustace with the not the hoop and the harm, but the hoop and the contact for sure. And because of his unorthodox nature and his ability to find the rim, he knows how to take a hit and find it. Salicic, if you give him space, it could get ugly very quickly.
Yeah, 2 turnovers in a row for Southwest is not what they would have wanted to see. They've gone from having all their momentum going in their favour to now it's swung in favour of Gold Coast. They have managed to pick up a foul on that rebounding situation, though. So Southwest with a chance now, still down by 7, but just need to protect the pill. Coming out of that timeout, you would have thought they would have been so energised and ready to rock, but obviously just a little bit of lack of communication and movement on the offensive side, making it easy for the Gold Coast to pick those couple of steals. And they've done it again just about. In fact, they have done it again. Eustace this time coming down with the steal. Definitely getting fouled on that one by Max Curl.
Yeah.
And so now Eustace going to go to the line for 2.
It's a different look for the Pirates, and this is, you know, what we were talking about before with Jared Bairstow's role in the roster, you know, with Pono in the lineup. It means that Bairstow gets to play the 3, but with Pono out, Bairstow shifts to the 4 and Payne comes in at 3. So now they've got to find scoring because Croft's not your ball-centric kind of import. He's the guy that pick and roll. So Vines has to get more active here and trigger the scoring. Max Curl comes into the roster and into the lineup with a hot hand shooting, and they're going to re-inject Sean Bairstow shortly. And Pono, as we talked about, comes back in as well. So this will be interesting to see what the rotation looks like. And they give Croft a breather. And they're also going to give Jared Bairstow a breather. So you take out Croft and Jared Bairstow and you re-inject 2 scorers in Pono and Sean Bairstow. And I think this now for the Pirates is a bit more attractive from an offensive end. And the good thing for the Pirates here is that whilst they're down 9, they've got the bonus to play with for the next 2.5 minutes. So Pono and Vines and also Sean Bairstow need to get aggressive early and then find Pang and Curl as shooters. So we see a Pono 3, very, very short. But it looks like we'll have an off-the-ball foul. Foul will be on
Max Curl.
Yeah, Max Curl off the ball on the rebound.
And realistically for Southwest as well, this should be their prime time to start racking up some points. They've managed to get Spencer Parker in foul trouble, you know, Gold Coast's key scorer in the season so far. And yet they just haven't been able to turn around and actually execute on, you know, they did all the right things and, you know, work the foul count up for him. So he has to sit on the bench for 8, 10, 15 minutes potentially. But they haven't managed to shut down the other Gold Coast scorers now. And defensively, they're just looking a little bit tired again. As we see LJ Rose go over the top of Christian Pang and, again, make it look a little bit too easy to take the lead back into double digits.
Yeah, that's you got to recognise who's guarding. As we see, I don't know how, but Pono found Pang
while he was sideways.
Yeah, while he was sideways, going Matrix style, hand in the face. But yeah, I think for Pang defending, and we see a switch now, and LJ's starting to heat up. You've got to go and force the guy to see a second defender. You can't give him space and play it on your own. You've got to force him to see a second defender. So get up, protect him a little bit more, or go and get him. As we see Max Curl hit a 3 in the face of Petrie. But the impressive thing for the Pirates that's kept them in the game at the moment is their rebounding. But, you know, as we see them give up a rebound and a second opportunity, Max Curl doesn't make the same mistake twice. Their rebounding's kept them in the game, and it's given them second opportunities and avoided rollers second opportunities, but turnovers like that.
Big foul offensively there.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that. Christian Salicic questioning it, but it turned around and just ran straight into the gut of, I can't even remember what Southwest player it was, but
Max Curl.
Max Curl wiped the floor with him on the turnover. So great decision and great recognition there from Mark Mill as well to just have his head over his shoulder and see the big contact. So good recognition. And again, we haven't spoken about him much in this game so far, but Max Curl has really stepped up and he's doing a lot of things right at the moment. He's hit 2 3-point shots at key moments in the game through heavy contact as well. He ended up on his ass after his last 3-point shot. Defensively, big rebound attempt. Did a great, attempted and missed on the first one, pulled the second one, and now he's just managed to get the offensive foul drawn against him as well. So, in a time where Southwest was in a little bit of trouble, Max Curl has really stepped up and started performing for this Southwest team, and it's really positive to see that the young gun coming out of the benches is helping them when they're in a bit of a spot of bother.
Yeah, I think he found himself in a spot of trouble there. If he didn't do something, it was going to be a dunk, as we say. Pono manhandling the Gold Coast Rollers defense, having his way and some as he walked into the key and laid it in. It's a 7-point ball game, and they're going to try and get the last shot here for the Pirates. Jared Eustace wants to silence the crowd, and Jace Morris picks up the offensive rebound and says, we'll have a second look at it. Young Edwards on the floor. He's going to get into LJ here. Oh, he forces a turnover. Oh, no. We've got a foul call.
Yeah, it was hard to see from where I was sitting, unfortunately, but they did end up getting the hands foul on Isaiah Edwards.
Referee Jamroz loves the dance moves from the Pirates bench, but is not willing to oblige. I hope he watches this later and you can see his footage of...
I told him to watch. Good. I told him. But again, the referees as a whole in the game as well. I mean, I know in most of our streams we always end up talking about it, but they've been doing a really good job of controlling this game in areas where the game could have got out of hand. They've done a really good job of just controlling the tempo and the pace. And, a situation like that there, 50-50 call, I honestly could not see. But in a key moment of the game, the Southwest bench is arced up and Jamro's just nice and quietly, come on guys, sit down. Let's just play the game of ball. Let's not do anything we're going to regret. Same as with the Anthony Petrie unsportsmanlike foul. They controlled the tempo of the game and just played it the way it needed to be played.
Sean Bairstow works his way through the reverse. Salicic, wide open look, and is no good at the end of the third quarter. It's 65-58. The Rollers hold on to a 7-point lead, and it got ugly there for a little bit, but the Pirates' effort as they went into their bench continued, and they fought it back a little bit. It played with 10 for a while, and maintaining 7's not a bad spot to be, especially if you can continue to build on that momentum of effort and doing the work. I think that's probably the thing that they've got to understand is they've got to throw multiple bodies and multiple looks at this Rollers offense, and if they do that, I think it's going to just unnerve the Rollers a little bit, because young kids do well. They create chaos, and there's nothing worse than a veteran seeing chaos and a kid who's going to come at you and do I don't know what. So we'll see what happens in this fourth quarter. But if I'm the Pirates, I like where I'm at. It's not a bad spot. It's not the end of the world. I'd rather be 65 all or have that lead, but 65-58. I've still got Pono and Croft and Bairstow, and they've got to rest out of themselves. And the Rollers have had to play Petrie and Martin and play their starters a little bit more than probably, Mickey C would have liked.
Yeah, and the Southwest clawed back a point. They went into into the third quarter 8 points down. They're now only 7, so they're starting to claw it back. The big advantage Southwest is really going to need to capitalise on now is the fact that they are a young team. Collectively, as we've said, Gold Coast somewhere between 850 and 900 years old between all of them.
Yep.
So they're going to start getting a little bit tired. If they don't rotate through, or if Southwest just goes at them and runs the pace of the game that they should be, they have a big advantage to just run this Gold Coast team out of the game and win by 5-10 points. But it'll be interesting to see how it comes up. We're going to take a very quick 10-second break here, and we'll bring you the fourth quarter of action shortly. And once again, welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex. It's a 7-point ball game with 1 quarter to go. Your Southwest Metro Pirates down by 7 leading into the final turn. But very, very good signs coming out of Southwest late into that 4th quarter. Max Curl really stepping up, probably having the best quarter out of everyone on the Southwest team, doing a really great job down both ends. But we've got Pueno and we've got Jared Croft injected back into the game with Captain Ryan Vines and Sean Bairstow. So a really great starting lineup here for Southwest. They'll come out with a lot of energy, and as we said, they just need to run at this Gold Coast team, really try and tire them down and play their offense at a faster pace than what they have. They've been playing at the speed that realistically the Gold Coast are happy with. They haven't run them off the ground, so Gold Coast is probably happy with the speed, and Southwest just needs to mess with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got your 5 best scorers, or your 5 leading scorers. As we see Croft attempt the dunk over Eustace. Eustace did a good job to rotate and put pressure on that and force it into a tough one. And as a result, he's missed the dunk. You could have ended in a poster. So good rotation from Jared Eustace there. He's going to have to earn it the hard way. But yeah, the 5 scorers for the Pirates now on the floor with Pono and Croft with 12 each, Curl with 8. As is Bairstow, Sean Bairstow that is, and then Ryan Vines with 7. So they've gone with their scoring 5, whilst Mickey C has gone with a little bit of a bench 5, sort of give the starters a breather. So I think he's going to finish, and I coached with the great Bruce Palmer a number of years ago, and he always said it's not about who you start with, it's who you finish with. So Mickey C's applying that, but the Pirates are going to try and look and jump on this and try and bring this lead back now, as we see Croft convert the first. So he makes this, it becomes a 5-point ball game and 2-possession game.
And he does. So we're back down to a 5-point ball game. So defense is crucial now for the Southwest Metro Pirates. If they can get a big stop here after those first couple of free throws, they have the potential to swing it around to being only a one possession ball game.
Increased ball pressure on LJ Rose too, which is good to see. Early rotations out of the on-ball. And they've forced it a long 3 out of Jared Eustace.
Yeah, I think Southwest got a little bit lucky on that one, because normally a wide open 3-point shot like that from Eustace is pretty much money.
Yep. Unfortunately, forcing the transition 3 or transition jumper.
Great offensive movement here from the Rollers. Unfortunately, they don't get the points reward for it at the end of the day, but really great spread around the floor and movement of the ball.
Sean Bairstow works the on-ball. And he is very, very crafty. He's got that ability to accelerate, and because of his length, and people really don't understand his length. Because of his length and his acceleration, he can slow you right down to a standstill, and then he'll hit you with his length in the first step that just exposes you. And with that first step, because of his length, he pretty much gets a meter and a half on you, and you're done. You are officially gone. So Sean Bairstow doing a good job of working the on-ball and also giving Vines an opportunity to take the ball out of his hands, play off the ball a little bit, spot up and shoot. You've got Curl on the floor as a shooter as well. And having Croft and Pono in the on-ball just creates havoc, So I like this look from Coach Larkins. I think if he stays with this here, this might be a 5 that, regains this lead for them. So we'll see what he does and see if they can back it up.
Yeah, we see Jaden Tom having to check out after that foul. That was his 4th personal as well. So Jaden Tom checks out, and I think it was Jays Morris checking in after that substitution as well. As we see Jared Eustace going to work underneath. They're going to get the foul on Jared Croft. Did a little bit of a dance move towards Mark Mill, thinking he was pretty straight up in a pretty good position.
I was waiting for referee Jamros to tell him to calm it down. Mark Mill, absolutely no emotion out of that at all. Seen it one too many times. I love it.
But good recognition there from Eustace underneath as well. Just going to work on Croft, fighting through, recognising he was a little bit off balance and not in position, and making him pay. Eustace keeping his 100% streak, making both free throws there, taking the gap back out to 6 points. So it's still only 2 or 3 point possession game here, as we see Shawnee Bairstow pulling his own O-board over the top of one of the Rollers players. But again, as you said, that's his length to go over the top of them like that. He didn't quite manage to make the first bucket, but worked his butt hard, pulled his own rebound, and just got the putback nice and easily.
LJ Rose trying to shoot over the length of Croft. Can't find a way. Pono in transition. He knew where Vines should have been and recognised his curl. I think the thing that you've got to be impressed about with that move by Sean Bairstow is he's putting his body on the line. Like, he is going up and saying, come and meet me at the summit. No fear at all of saying, you know what, if I'm coming down hard, but I'm going to come down and I'm going to come down on top of you. So it's impressive from the young fella, especially with a big future in front of him. He's no fear at all mentality. He's going to win him friends in a lot of places.
And just that recognition as well. Like, he's got that length and the size and recognising where the defence is, recognising they're inside the no-charge semicircle. So just taking it at him, like you said, putting his body on the line, having no fear, realising that he's not going to get the foul and going over the top of them.
Salicic tries to draw the contact. Reece Martin wide open 3. Can't make him pay.
Southwest getting lucky with a lot of Gold Coast shots, not quite falling the way that they would hope in this fourth quarter. They've had a lot of really good looks, and that was one of them as well, but Martin just unable to get the fall. So see Petrie standing on the sideline, ready to check in. Turnovers now starting to plague Southwest's game just a little bit. And Shawnee Bairstow, after the turnover, just picking up the foul, probably a smart foul as well, because Southwest was never going to get back in defense on time for that one. They're a little bit slow off the foot. So smart foul from Bairstow. It's only his second, so not too much of a concern. But Coach Larkin's recognising a good time to take a timeout, so he's going to take a break. We'll take a quick one as well. But we'll be back with you shortly with more QBL action presented by the Stream Team Australia. And checking in back with you here at Hibiscus Sports Complex. It's a 4-point ball game. Gold Coast Rollers with possession just behind the halfway. Smart foul there by Sean Bairstow just to slow down the momentum of the Rollers as well. They were never going to get back in defense. So smart foul, and probably a smart foul from Coach smart timeout, from Coach Larkins, just to re-establish the troops and set up a plan of attack for the last 7 minutes here.
Yeah, I think an early timeout in this situation is a good one. Knowing full well that Mickey C will probably burn his 2, and he'll probably have 2 more left to go. He has still 2 to go, so it's not a bad one by any means. And they come out in the zone, and they've extended it, so it's good to see. Different look from the Pirates, but Salicic with a wide open 3 is not what they probably envisaged out of that zone. So. They're going to have to adjust very quickly, but now they're moving the ball in transition and looking to attack the switches of the on-ball.
Vines kicks to Croft. 7 seconds to go. Croft goes to work on the inside and puts it away for 2. It's a good look inside there from Croft. So Southwest going back to a man-on-man defense now as well. Probably a good idea after that open 3-point shot from Salicic last play. Ball finds its way inside to Petrie underneath. Thalo Green goes to work on top of Croft. Croft a little bit disappointed himself by the looks of it after that one. Just letting Thalo Green work his way around him.
Yeah, Thalo's too crafty. You've got to get down in stance. You've got to play wide with Thalo because he will find a way to hook you without hooking you illegally and get around your body if you stay stand up.
Petrie got one back on Puono, getting the block and the steal as well. Gold Coast on their way to the bucket. And lack of communication there from Southwest, and Reese Martin just makes easy work of it on the inside.
Yeah, Southwest have got to go back to that, go back to that on ball, or look to work that on ball. I know they've been forced out of it a couple of times, but now they're in their transition set, so ends up with Croft in the elbow jumper, and again, just no penetration, just settling for outside shots. We see Vines gets rewarded for the offensive rebound, and they'll take that one, but you know, they've got to get back to penetration, move the ball side to side and penetrate, or use the on ball and look and explore options out of the on ball, because that's where they've been effective before. But this starting group of the Rollers is also a little bit more well equipped to send different messages and send different schemes at them, as we see Reese Martin, the savvy NBL vet with the step back jumper, takes his tally to 15, sorry, off that one. And he's making Sean Bairstow do a whole lot of work with the ball in his hands offensively.
Ryan Vines, is he going to take the heat check? No, he drives into Reese Martin. Great defense there from Martin, though, moving his feet to get in front. 3 on the shot clock, so Southwest going to need to work. It's not going to happen for them as they get the shot clock violation. Jarrett Croft, though, a little bit too late after the buzzer, but really nice turnaround jump shot from deep in the corner.
Yeah.
But a little bit too late, unfortunately, there for Southwest.
Yeah, they're getting caught, unfortunately, late in that shot clock. The ball stuck, and players stood still and waited for the guy with the ball to do something. You can't have that. That's the worst thing you can do. There's 2 cardinal sins late in the shot clock. 1, the ball sticks, and 2, players stand and watch. You have to have motion off the ball, and you have to have the ball moving through your hands, or attacking the paint and getting in the paint so there's penetration to wide open receivers.
Yeah, it was a great screen there just before from Petrie, leading to Gold Coast possession around the outside. They're going to get a foul inside. I think they're going to get that one against Jarrett Croft. They are indeed. Just getting the holding foul against Thalo Green. Green looking pretty happy with himself after that one. He recognised the contact. He exaggerated it a tiny bit and got the call that he was chasing.
Yeah, Green's an expert at being able to milk something.
And then a great inside play there from Spencer Parker, taking the lead back to double digits. Southwest not able to get themselves back within fighting distance just at this stage. We saw Vines get hot earlier. Can he be hot again? 3-point shot looks good, and it is. Vines taking the lead back down, and that can be dangerous for the Rollers as well, because when Vines gets hot late into the 4th quarter from 3, that can be very dangerous.
Yeah, it definitely can be. They just need to build back-to-back stops now, as we see Parker with the jumper. And again, he's come off the bench firing and wants to make up for lost time. So the Pirates just need to build back-to-back scores and then stops. And they're going to go to Puono in the post against Petrie, who's sort of had his way. But unfortunately, as the game continues to get physical, people's egos are getting in check, and referee's done it, as you said before, done a good job of managing it and just going, hey, listen, let's the boys be the boys, and we'll make sure we keep it in context. But yeah, there's a whole lot of pride on the line at the moment, and it's going to get a little bit testy, which is good. And you know, it's people want to see a little bit of body on body contact and see what happens. But yeah, it's 80-71, and they've got to execute there. And Thalo's talking to the bench about, hey.
Comment there if you couldn't hear. These young guys think they're Jedis.
Yeah. Well, they will try to walk through you, Thalo, and you're finding that out the hard way, unfortunately. I think he's going to feel it tomorrow. Reese Martin drives baseline. Great defense from Croft, but great offensive movement there from Gold Coast, just kicking it around. Salicic. Corner 3-point shot, quite possibly from behind the backboard, finds its way in. They take the lead up to 12, but now it's Puono's chance underneath. He's a little bit too strong over Petrie, but gets his own board and puts it back. And he's telling Petrie about that too. Petrie's going to go right back at him next time. If he's not going to get the ball on offense, he's going to want the defensive matchup again and say, "Come at me, big fella." Yeah, I'm not so happy about this Petrie on Jared Bairstow matchup that we got at the moment. Would much prefer the Petrie-Puono matchup, but that's all right. Salicic now with the steal off Captain Vines. Gold Coast is going to slow things down. They've got all the time in the world to make things go their favour. Spencer Parker definitely making up for lost time with the jump shot there.
over the top of Bairstow. And that's the thing. I think I commented on it earlier, but I just want to hammer it home now. Southwest really did not take advantage of that time that Spencer Parker spent off the court, because right now he's just coming out and he's absolutely dominating this floor and just, like you said, making up for lost time. And they're not doing a good enough job of defending him and preventing him from just racking up. I think that's, 6 points now in a relatively short space of time.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too, you know, Mickey C's brought on his starters. They know how to defend. As we see a Thalo Green hard foul. That's a Thalo Green special. I'm going to hit you and you're going to know about it tomorrow. So he knows how to take a foul and give a foul, but we'll have a timeout from Coach Larkins. But 2:13 to go, 85-73. It's still very much game is in the throes. I think for the Pirates, the big thing they've got to recognise now, every possession counts. And it's every possession, both ends of the floor counts. So as we've said before, it's stop and then a score, stop and then a score. If they can do that in the next two to four possessions, I think what they're going to see is, you know, 85-73 becomes, you know, 85-78, 77. And that's a different look, you know, going in with a minute and a half, minute 20 to go sort of thing. The game's on the line. So the thing with the veteran team like the Rollers, they know how to play down the stretch. Mickey C's a well-versed coach in this league. Coach Larkins is too. But the big thing is that youth has got to be patient enough to understand we've got to do things effectively and we've got to do things quickly and effectively, but make sure that we execute to the nth degree as opposed to forcing shots and making sure that, you know, we get the results we want. If we turn off for a second, we're going to get exposed. And it's gonna be playing catch-up, and you don't want to be playing catch-up with under a minute to go against this Gold Coast Rollers team.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So it really is all-important timing at the moment. There is just over 2 minutes to go as I fix up my game clock. Just over 2 minutes to go. So Southwest really needs to execute and execute quickly. You know, as you said, Bairstow makes these two. We're down to a 10-point game. Couple of quick stops, couple of quick turnovers from Gold Coast, and they're right back in this. So, you know, 12 points seems like a tough turnaround in the space of just over 2. But they can absolutely do it. They just need to execute right. They need to take it at the Rollers. They need to be physical. They need to put their bodies on the line, as young Shawnee Bairstow was doing earlier. And it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, I think the thing is too, and this is where Coach Larkins and Coach Conlon will be saying to their players, listen, this is still a 10-possession game at a minimum. So, you know, you've got to understand that, you know, you can put in the work here. You know, you've got to understand that, you know, you get 10 possessions, that's a good opportunity. You've just got to do, as I said, do things quickly, do things well. And we've had an off-the-ball foul. Pono ends up on the floor, but the foul is called on him.
I think it's probably a fair call, to be honest. He may have come off worse, but he definitely was causing the contact against Thalo Green. Interesting decision. I mean, the only thing that I would question is why it needed to be called, because at the end of the day, I mean, there wasn't really a disadvantage. Pono made the contact. Pono ended up on the ground, leaving an open Thalo Green for the rebound if there was one. So, if there was to be a foul, it definitely would be a Pono foul. Did it need to be called? 50-50.
Yeah.
Or 60-40, whichever way you want to look at it.
I think Thalo's just glad that he doesn't have to go and hit Pono again. Or Pono hit Thalo.
And let's just talk about that matchup for a little bit now, because the Pono Petrie matchup and the Pono Thalo Green matchup throughout the game has been really exciting. On multiple levels, there's been a lot of body contact. There's been a lot of big matchups between those guys, and you know, unfortunately, it all started from kind of a negative beginning with that, you know, head contact from Petrie causing unsportsmanlike. But ever since then, the passion and the fire between those two players has really made this game, you know, that little bit extra special, I think. And them going at each other and intentionally trying to take it over the top of each other and perform over the top of each other has been a bit of fire in their belly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Peach has got his family here. He's gonna, you know, he's a pro. He's not going to let any import walk into a game against him and go, you know what, you're going to have a Player of the Week performance. He's going to be very aware of the fact that he was the Player of the Week last week. He's going to show you, well, you're a one-hit wonder, you know. So we'll see what happens as Pono loses his headband. So I think Mark Mills said, oh, well, you've lost your headband. There's got to be a foul in there somehow, unless we've got hairdressers in the game somewhere, but yeah, we've got a bonus situation, and this is the thing that becomes interesting because this becomes very much a game of chess. We've just seen 2 minutes 13 before became 1 minute 58, and we've already seen now this will be the fourth set of this is the fourth third and fourth free throw in a matter of 15 seconds. So it's going to be interesting now in the next minute 58. It becomes a game of cat and mouse. Who's going to get who, and are we going to use the bonus? Are we going to go and get foul shooters, or are we going to off the ball without within the context of the game, not give up an unsportsmanlike? So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next minute 58.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As Southwest, unfortunately, coming down to the dying moments. That's 3 from 3 missed free throws as well. But also the temperament of the players. I saw as Mark Mill was calling the foul on Anthony Petrie leading into these 2 free throws. He was on the verge of calling a technical foul on Petrie. He held back and didn't do it, which I'm glad to see. But it just goes to show the temperament of the players at the moment is quite high, and they are getting vocal. They are getting a little bit chippy past the point that would normally be acceptable. So it is going to be an interesting last couple of minutes. That last shot there from Gold Coast and that charge there from Henry Puerno pretty much determines the game. I don't think Southwest is going to be coming back from this now. 15 points down and a turnover there from Puerno on the charge. Southwest, they had every opportunity to get themselves back in it. They just didn't quite execute to the standard that they needed to.
Yeah, Croft asking the question about whether there was charge circle or not, and if we were in a situation where the QBL had video replay, I'm sure the referees would happily use it. But no, Redmond makes the call, and I'm pretty sure with his experience, he was pretty much in position to do that. So
I think the contact occurred while Puerno was sort of not in the air either. So I'm not sure whether the no charge semicircle even would have come into play. But Redmond is an absolute veteran of the game, and look, I'm happy with the call. The defensive play was in position, got himself set. As long as the no-charge semicircle doesn't come into play, that's an easy call every day of the week. Puerno knows that it's crunch time. He needed to go to the bucket, just ignored where the body was. As we see another big contact on that end as well. That one's going to be against Puerno as well, and that's going to be his 5th personal foul. So Puerno will be out. The more concerning thing is going to be whether or not he's badly injured himself on the way down.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I think it's more where he got hit.
I think it more might be that he winded himself on the way down as well, because there was a lot of contact up high. He's gone down relatively hard, so I think he may have winded himself on the way down. I think that's a concerning factor.
I think that was an ego foul more than anything. I think it was more I fouled out, and we're down 89-74, a bit of frustration, and as we saw, a little bit of love for the floor, making sure it's still solid.
Might be a bit of a dent in it after that big contact.
No, mate. Hibiscus do a good job, mate, maintaining their floors out here, mate. They do a really good job, and the Volunteers do an even better job with their floor wiping abilities.
Yeah, that end of the floor's had a couple of big hits on it recently, so hopefully it's still in good nick.
Oh, sure it is, mate. Rob Tankey and the crew here doing a good job of making sure the facility is up to scratch and ready to roll for a Saturday night QBL action.
Yeah, it's been good to see some of the improvements over the facility over the course of the last 2 or 3 years since Hibiscus Sports Management came into play from the Pirates. There's been a couple of big improvements. Getting these glass rims up on every single court is nice as well, so some big changes and probably more to come.
Mate, the wooden backboards did wonders for my jump shot, I'll tell you that much. Bairstow looking to probe and attack Petrie. Petrie gives it up knowing that it's better to give up a layup than a foul. Slow this game down. Time is our friend.
Yeah, and that's it. And realistically now, Gold Coast just needs to play smart. I mean, as far as they're concerned, this game's over. So they just need to play smart, not give away silly little fouls, not get themselves fouled out. They just need to play smart basketball, and letting a Sean Bairstow go to work on the inside and just step away from the last minute and let him have it is probably a smart move.
Yes. Taylor Green grabs a rest. He'll be a little bit sore and sorry tomorrow, but the boost of a win will obviously help him get over it. 91-76. Reece Martin to make it 92-76, and he's this will make him equal top scorer with Parker with 18. So a well-rounded effort from the Rollers. Parker 18, Martin 18, Rose 14, Green 12, and Eustace 10 off the bench. As we see another Reese Martin steal. People underestimate the ability of Reese Martin to read the play, and he's got very long arms, which again people do not realise, and he'll read where you're going with the ball. As he asks his teammate Rose to slow down and to say, hey, listen, time is our friend, let's use all of it. Anthony Petrie on ball. Petrie savvy enough to draw the contact and the hold. And that'll be on Bairstow.
That'll be Bairstow's 5th as well, so he'll be taking a seat. Young Max Kell going to check in for the last 40-odd seconds of the game.
Yeah, I think from Coach Larkins, 92.76, 39.4 seconds. I think, if anything, I'm coming out of this with a lot of positive, even though losing's hard. But in any situation, especially on your home court, they've had opportunities, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. They've had opportunities to score. They had opportunities to get stops. They just didn't. Down the stretch, they just didn't execute on it, and that's probably part of having a good mix of youth and some imports as well, and putting the team together. This is a very well-rounded Gold Coast team that's played together for a number of years. They have very experienced players who know how to find each other. As Parker gets a rebound and will dribble the ball out, or at least dribble it out to take a last shot and not rush things. Sean Bairstow comes up with a steal, but
he's going to throw this down for sure.
It gives the fans and the kids on the baseline something to cheer about, which is always good, and Parker will dribble it out. But yeah, I think if I'm the Pirates now, I'm saying, hey, listen, there's a lot of positives that came out of this. Petrie with the easy 2 as a reward for Parker's find. But yeah, Gold Coast Rollers just too strong on the night, and both the men's and the women's, and the men walk away 94-78. And they're going to count the basket, so 94-80. But yeah, Regan, overall, whilst the Pirates will be disappointed, I think there's a lot of positives to see out of that. Nelson Larkins comes back in the fray. James Ringholt comes back in the fray. I think this Pirates team is on the way up for sure. And they've just met a Gold Coast Rollers team that's come into town tonight. As Staley Green thanks us, he's always been a very conscious and courteous professional, thanking the bench. But this Rollers team is well-rounded. They're well coached. They've got 7 guys who coach the team on the floor with veteran NBL and import and European and international experience. So they're just a very strong side, and they're a team that I would not want to meet in the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think, like you said, Southwest still has a lot of positive things to come away with from this game, and I think the vast majority of that is in terms of the way they actually set up their offense. At the end of the day, they just weren't hitting their shots. And that you look at the way that they structure their offense, the way they move the ball around, and look, their shot selection for the most part was really, really good. But you've just got such a strong defensive team in this Gold Coast Rollers that just did a great job of closing them out. They really reduced the number of offensive rebounds that Southwest was able to pull as well. They only came away with 18 O boards. So, making it a little bit hard to get those second chance opportunities. And, that's a little bit of the impact that they had. 18 sounded like a small number of offensive rebounds until I come down to the Gold Coast Rollers and realize they've only got 3 O boards for the entire game, mostly due to the fact that they didn't miss that many. But as a whole, Southwest can walk away knowing they had a very good offensive game of basketball. They had good structure. They had good ball movement. They just didn't end up hitting the shots. But as you said, Gold Coast, just such a well-rounded team. They've got so many leaders out on the floor. Like you said, you've got realistically 7 blokes that, if they decide to retire at any point in time, could quite easily step into a coaching position from next season. And it's just that wealth of experience, that wealth of knowledge out of all those players on the floor. They just work so beautifully together, and the way they executed on the floor was just that little bit better than what Southwest was able to bring.
Yeah, exactly right. And as we said, they had their opportunities, and Southwest did a good job of making sure they had extra opportunities. The thing that hurt them was they went and got 50 rebounds to Gold Coast 28. The turnovers was 25-11, and again, that's just that experience, that's that ability in the broken play situations like we talked about during the game, where youth has got to be patient, okay, or a little bit more aggressive, or a little bit stronger with the ball in their hands and not turn it over. But they did a good job on the glass, and again, Coach Larkins is going to have to harp on that. The shooting percentages weren't too bad. But when you got a Gold Coast team that comes into town and shoots 52%, from the field, that's a high number. So I think, again, with time, experience, and an ability to play in some tough games like that, I think this Pirates team is very much on the up, and definitely has aspirations to play playoff basketball in this QBL season. Against, they've just unfortunately met a Rollers team who's ready to roll, and they are rolling. So
yeah, definitely so. And like in having a conversation with Coach Larkins before the game as well, he started to notice that this team really is starting to come together as a group as well. And the way they execute and the way that they play as a team and a team game of basketball is improving week on week. And, we saw that again here tonight. And there's only a couple of things they need to improve on in that regards. A couple of those little communication things, the passes made where, I expect you to be over there, but it's a little bit out in terms of the timing and the positioning. But all in all, they're definitely on the up. It is a team that could play some really exciting finals basketball. And look, once you inject those couple of boys that are out injured, and especially Larkins coming back in for that doubleheader next week, look, it's going to be a team that's going to come up. And, like you said, Gold Coast Rollers just a little bit too strong. A very well-seasoned team and a very strong team as well.
Absolutely. Regan, thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of this, and thanks Southwest Metro Pirates.
No, my absolute pleasure, and that will wrap us up here for things tonight. So thanks again, Jordan Mullan, for checking in and helping me with the commentary here tonight. Jem McKelleher up there somewhere on the camera helping us out as always. My name has been Regan Baker from the Stream Team Australia. Don't forget, we will have your game next week as well. Southwest Metro will be playing at home. I believe it's on the Saturday night, so don't forget to tune in. We will have that game for you here. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next week.